and we will continue to see the winds increase, the waves on top of the rising water. Conditions in Fort Myers Beach getting worse. They're already life-threatening, and many other locations we're going to see the weather only get worse. I'll leave you with this one last picture here of some of the areas that we expect to see the worst of it. I put the National Hurricane Center's track on here to show you where the center of Ian is going. Along and to the right is where the strongest winds are going to be closing in on Punta Gorda in the matter of an hour or so.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill, once a day, that's effective without topical steroids. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. Plus, they felt fast itch relief, some as early as 2 days. That's Rinvoq relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer. Death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupts the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
He can drink from my saucer anytime.
Where did he learn to slide like that?
I know where.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Shop Michaels today for our best sale of the season. Score big savings on canvas and frames and get 50% off fall floral, decor, and more. Plus, earn up to 6% in Michaels Rewards. Now through October 1st. Michaels, made by you.
Hi, we've both got a big birthday coming up, so we have a lot of questions about Medicare plans.
We've got a lot of answers. How can I help?
Well, for starters, do you include hearing benefits?
How about a plan with dental, vision, and hearing benefits?
I sure like the sound of that.
Then how does a $0 monthly plan premium sound?
If you're new to Medicare, call 1-888-65-AETNA. We'll walk you through all your coverage and benefit options to help find the right plan for you.
What did I miss?
She took her first steps.
Can she do it again? I missed it. I stepped away from the bowl for 2 seconds.
There it is. Whoa. Back on top.
Whoa, what happened?
Oh, you missed that. Probably shouldn't have left.
Tostitos. Get to the good stuff.
We met 40 years ago at a concert, so you can say music has always been very special to us. But when his hearing loss continued to progress, we stopped doing some of the things that we really loved.
The thought of getting a hearing aid made me feel, well, oh, then I found Lexi Hearing.
Lexi offers premium medical-grade hearing aids delivered directly to your door.
Turns out you don't need a prescription to get a prescription-quality hearing aid anymore.
The process was so simple, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. You order your hearing aids online, risk-free, because you get to try them for 45 days. And when they arrive, customize them to your unique hearing profile using the Lexi app. And thanks to on-demand support from Lexi's hearing experts, you're never on your own. You get high-quality hearing aids, plus batteries and accessories delivered regularly.
Don't miss out on another day. Visit LexiHearing.com and get started now.
Call 1-800-370-4397 today to try Lexi risk-free for 45 days.
Climate is every day, and it affects everything. Our food, our health, our present, our future. The Weather Channel and its innovative team at Pattern are covering the most fascinating stories affecting our planet. Together, we can make sense of the most important issue facing our future. Every day on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under sunny skies. Today, sunny, high 74. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies, low 46. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 76. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Things are starting to pick up here, and we're getting close to the eye wall. We're going to show you here Fort Myers Beach first, and the surge that is pushing in. And I'll tell you what, in Naples, south of here, we had a record-setting surge, over 4 feet, crushing the old surge. We're nearing around 6 feet there. It's just tremendous, the surge that we're seeing down into Naples. Here, we are concerned about the surge over right on the ocean and on Lemon Bay. We're about 2 miles from the ocean, so we're not necessarily concerned about surge here. Yes, flooding, we could see an issue, but I am worried about the people that are right on the water when it comes to the surge. Where we are a little bit inland in this neighborhood, I'm worried about the wind and the catastrophic wind. That eye wall is just to our south. It's rotating in, and the reason I put my helmet on is because there are and it's those little pieces you can see down the street. We have some palm fronds, we have some branches, but we've seen some leaves flying in the air, and you don't know those little particles that can get picked up. And so I put on the helmet, and then when it gets a little bit closer to us, we're going to have to retreat back into our safe place because that eye wall is absolutely no joke. Let's go to meteorologist Mike Seidel. He is close to the water, so he's much more exposed than I am. Mike, how have your conditions changed over the last, let's say, hour?
They have gone downhill right now. You can see on the radar, we are in the eye wall of the end. This is a Cat 4, almost a Cat 5. Our winds are gusting, we've had an official gust to 97, sustained at 70. That's just below hurricane force. Behind me is the Caloosahatchee River, and you can see it's starting to come up on the pool deck here. I don't have an official surge measurement, but I'm estimating now about 3 feet so far, just based on where the water was last night. You can see also the wind, these gusts, picking up the salt water and blowing it in. What you can't see, there's a condo building next door, and I looked over there and went, whoa, that whole building is now surrounded by the river. I'm going to try to get over there safely and on the end of the hotel and just shoot some video. We'll get that on the air and give you an idea because we're higher up. And look at this, water coming in. We've got a safe place. My cameraman, photographer Mike Hall is up there about 20 feet. Want to walk around this side. This helps with the building blocking the wind. Then you get out here into the force and the rage of this hurricane. Moving at 10 miles an hour, and water's now coming up on the pool deck. The question is, do we get into the eye for a short time? I'm not certain that's going to happen, so we're going to stay in the eye wall for a long, long time, and we're just going to be battered by 100-mile-per-hour wind gust. Already 264,000 customers without power. That number is really going to go up, and that's all here in Southwest Florida. Here's a gust there. It's got to be over 70 miles an hour. And just howling through the buildings, I'm seeing a lot of small pieces of palm fronds flying around. That's about it. The building itself is very, very sturdy, very, very sturdy. So we'll keep you updated here. We'll stay safe and follow the movement of the eye wall, and we'll see if we do get Dr. Postel actually in the eye and we get a break. We were so close in Ponce with Fiona that we could see the skies brightening off to the south. We thought we were going to get into it, but we never did. And I have my feelings that we'll probably not get into it. We're going to be into this for a good part of the afternoon as Ian makes its landfall just north of here and heads up towards, right into where Stephanie is in Englewood and Jim in Punta Gorda. Speaking of Stephanie, we'll take it to you. I know you're inland, I'm on the water, and there's nothing stopping this wind from coming in off the Gulf of Mexico except the hotel. But I'm out here exposed, and it is really, really howling and blowing the river water right up at me in my back. Stephanie, take it away.
Yeah, I see that, and that's happening all along the coast. And we're about 2 miles inland, as I've been mentioning. And so for us, if you look at that eye wall, it's rotating in. It's been hitting Sanibel Island really hard. Of course, the water's gone up there. Naples, Fort Myers. Where we're located, we do have some protection from that water. Of course, there's rainfall you have to worry about. But in some of these places where you're a little bit inland, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles, it's the wind. And so when you see that eye wall starting to rotate in, those winds are going to start strengthening. They're going to be very intense, and they could last for a couple of hours. So that's when you get into the safe room. And that is the most interior room, lowest level. You can see on the screen also that surge. This system has it all. We're going to see flooding rain. That goes through the interior. So this is not just a coastal event, and I want to re-emphasize that. If you live in the interior sections, you're going to feel this. They don't just die when they hit the coast. It takes time for them to wind down. So you could still get Cat 1, Cat 2 winds, even if you live inland here into Florida. So this thing is really starting to ramp up. It's starting to come ashore, and we expect landfall here coming up in the next couple hours.
At Duracell, we're obsessed with bringing a better battery to life. New Duracell with Power Boost ingredients helps this headlamp shine at its brightest for longer. And the longer this headlamp shines, the more interesting your stories become.
When you lose power, life stops. Your home needs a hero. Introducing Power Joe by Sun Joe, the easy-to-use portable generator that runs on propane, just like your barbecue grill. Forget pull starts. Power Joe starts by pressing one button. The secret is Power Joe's exclusive ProPower 3X technology. Power Start features a lithium-ion battery to instantly turn on Power Joe's 4100-watt max motor. Power Cool keeps the motor running cooler and longer. And Power Fuel uses cleaner propane, and it's virtually maintenance-free. Power all your devices with multiple outlet options. Turn on lamps, the fridge, microwave, heaters, AC, and electronics to stay informed. When the power's gone, Power Joe on.
Now, we'll never be in the dark again.
Gas generators are bulky, and finding gas in a storm is tough. But Power Joe is compact, and propane is easily available. Just connect the hose like on your barbecue, and press one button to turn on the 8-horsepower engine for up to 9 hours of runtime.
Getting power from a propane tank is a game changer.
Call now to get the Power Joe portable generator with 24-volt Ion Plus battery and charger, 4-piece hardware kit, 5-foot propane hose, and Sun Joe's premium 3-year warranty, along with free shipping, all for just $9.99. Order now and get these hardworking accessories free. But hold everything. Go with Joe right now and we'll take $100 off. You get all this, over $450 in savings for just $8.99 if you call now, or go online to trypowerjoe.com and pay as low as $84 a month. Your first payment of only $84 is all it takes to get Power Joe to your door. This is an exclusive TV offer that includes Sun Joe's 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-257-1106 to order your Power Joe today. Again, that's 1-800-257-1106 or go to trypowerjoe.com. Order now.
Psoriasis really messes with you.
Try, hope, fail.
No one should suffer like that.
I started Cosentyx. 5 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections, some serious, and the lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Tell your doctor if your Crohn's disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Best move I ever made.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
This year, Prime members get holiday deals before anyone else, which means you're kind of a big deal. The Prime Early Access Sale on October 11th and 12th, only for Prime members.
Right now, it could seem like the only people who matter are the loudest. Those who want to tear things down and then fly away on their own personal spaceships when things get hard. But we've got 182,000 people. And they're building big things, new things, things that will change the way we do things. And you might not know their names, but these people get up every day, working together to move us all forward.
Category 4 Hurricane Ian lashing the west coast of Florida with 155-mile-per-hour winds making landfall as we speak. And the Weather Channel brings you live, continuous coverage with the former director of the National Hurricane Center, Dr. Rick Knabb, with instant analysis. Our live crews in the field, Jim Cantori, Stephanie Abrams, Mike Seidel, Chris Bruin, Alex Wilson. We're going to bring you everything you need to know and bring you the images of landfall. Let's get right to Mike Seidel. He's in Fort Myers with the very latest. Mike, what are you seeing?
We are in the eye wall right now of Hurricane Ian. We've had wind gusts up around 100 miles an hour. I'll set the stage here. We've got the hotel in front of me, a huge hotel, about 12 floors. That's blocking the wind somewhat from where we are on a crew, and we're up about 20 feet. You can see how the winds are gusting right now, talking triple-digit gusts. Sustained winds have been up around 70, just below hurricane force. The other issue is the surge. This is the Caloosahatchee River. Boy, it looks like the North Atlantic. You can't see very far out because of the rain and just the spray coming in. But what you're going to notice, and we're going to head to higher ground, I'll head to higher ground when necessary. The water now is about 6 to 8 inches deep. So the surge has come up several feet, at least several feet, because the water was below this concrete bulkhead here on the edge of the pool this morning, or I should say last night when we got here. So the winds are whipping up. The surge forecast between Bonita Beach and Englewood, where Stephanie is, and up through Punta Gorda, where Jim Cantori is, the Port Charlotte area, 12 to 18 feet. Now, that's the worst-case scenario on normally dry ground. One thing going in our favor is the fact, look at that wave coming in. One thing going in our favor is the fact that the tide is trying to go out. The next low tide here in Fort Myers is about 6:30. So that takes some of the edge off the surge, but boy, it's like putting a Band-Aid on the whole situation. That's not really going to help. Right now, there's over 250,000 customers without power in the state of Florida. They're all down here, but those numbers are going to skyrocket as these strong winds move inland and blow down trees. Most of the wind now has been out here. The strongest winds on the barrier islands where you have palm trees. And other than that, not a whole lot of vegetation. But these winds are going to move inland, and we're going to have a lot of power out. Some of it may be out for at least several days. The real issue here is the surge and the wind. I looked at the condo next door. That whole parking lot, that whole building now is surrounded by the river, and you can see how the water literally is rising as I'm standing out here. The surge doesn't come in like a tsunami. It comes in gradually, and it pushes up. And then once the wind goes offshore, it'll go back out. How long it stays up remains to be seen. The hurricane's only moving northeast at 10 miles an hour. The other question is, do we get into the eye? Probably not. We're going to stay on the edge as it circulates and spins inland north of us. We're going to stay in the eye wall for quite a while. So that is really going to batter this area with sustained winds, hurricane force, and these wind gusts well over 100 miles an hour. Now, the peak wind with Charlie was 147 miles an hour. We'll see if we get that, but the surge, I think that's going to be topped at Fort Myers Beach, which was 9.4 feet. Charlie was a fast-moving, smaller storm, like a giant buzzsaw that went right up through Orlando and produced a gust there of 106 miles an hour. So, Mike Bettis, this is what we're going to have for the foreseeable future, unless for some reason it jogs a little farther east of north, and we can get right into the edge of the eye, and the winds will back off. But I'm not betting on that right now.
Mike Seidel for us in Fort Myers Beach, Florida. Mike, thank you so much. Want to get to our Stephanie Abrams. She's in Englewood, Florida. Stephanie, looks like the eye may come directly over Englewood. Your pressure's dropping there, meaning the storm is getting a lot closer.
It is. So, Mike, let's talk about this because give me an update if you could. You know, it's hard out here with everything going on of what the current central pressure is. Right now in Englewood, we're at 988. We've been dropping. I would say within the last hour, we've dropped 2-3-ish millibars here. But Bettis, what is currently that center circulation? Where's that pressure
Steph
reading?
just got the updated advisory from the Hurricane Center, 937. So you've got a ways to go. That'd be in the middle of the eye, generally speaking.
All right, so, Mike, how long do you think that's going to take? I know that eye wall is just off from us here. What's your anticipation of that landfall, and do you think it's going to be over Sanibel Island? Do you think that center circulation is going to get over Sanibel Island, or it's going to be moving more northbound? I guess what's our direction? Are we still north-northeast?
Yeah. Well, I think you're pretty close to the. I think you're probably going to be right there in the eye, Steph, or maybe just on maybe the western edge of it. But I think between Sanibel and where you are is where the eye is going to be here, and the front side of that eye wall is already onshore now, so already experiencing some really intense winds just to your south. But I think those real intense winds are going to come right over you momentarily.
All right, so we're going to continue to go downhill here, and you can tell noticeably that the winds have started to pick up. And when that eye wall comes in, I'm watching the radar here, and I know our crew back at the Weather Channel, they can say to me, Abrams, it's time. We will move into our safe place. I put on the helmet because we are seeing little bits of debris that are starting to fly around, some palm fronds, things like that. We haven't seen any huge debris. We did have the tree behind us. If you were watching earlier, that cracked, and we saw one larger branch kind of tilt over from that. We shockingly still have power. We know that that's going to go down as well. And you can see it's just kind of like tree branches littering the area right now. We're also watching that boat cover. That's been getting torn apart, and we're not into the heart of this thing yet. This community is going to look a lot different as we head over the next couple of hours and into tomorrow. Now, Mike, we have that eye wall, and then of course you go through the eye, and then you go through the second eye wall, but there's going to be some places, maybe just to the north of here, Mike, maybe South Venice or the Venice area, that they could stay in the eye wall for several hours.
Yeah, then when you're in that eye wall the whole time, that's when you're going to maximize the surge. That's when you maximize the damage. That's when you maximize the number of power outages. It's almost like, think it almost as a category or an EF1 or an EF2 tornado for a prolonged period of time, for hours, not just seconds, which is usually what a tornado would be. Let's get to Punta Gorda, Florida now with our Jim Cantore. Jim, same deal for you. Here it comes. Conditions about to get really, really rough.
Yeah, we're starting to get those bigger gusts, Mike, starting to come into Punta Gorda now. It's weird, though. Sometimes, you know, the rain goes down to just a little mist. It's certainly not raining very heavily right now, but we're not into the eye wall yet. All right, we're not into the worst part of the eye wall. We're just on the outer fringes of that. It's about 10 miles away, so it will absolutely come in like a hammer. All right, I want to take our storm path camera because this is where we were this morning. This is Charlotte Harbor. This is one of the marinas there where, you know, the boats are being housed, and I want to show you what it looks like out there. Okay, I mean, look at this. The boats are sitting on the ground. They're in the mud. So we're still seeing enough of an easterly push to take all the water and slosh it onto the other side of the harbor or out into the Gulf. But when, you know, again, as that eye comes north and those winds start to change around, here comes the water back in and the big rise. So that's what we're watching here with this. That's just an amazing sight to look at out there, you know, with those boats, because they're all on these about 8-foot stilts. And if we get the water higher than that, they could come off of those stilts if they're not tied down properly. So that is absolutely one of the bigger concerns in through here. Again, guys, southeast is that way. So I'm a little blocked by this building here. But, you know, you just go up a little bit, you look at some of the trees, the wind will come howling down this road. And if we get in the eye wall, there's not going to be a lot of protection for anybody, that's for sure. The big question is how high is the water going to get? We're not very high. Punta Gorda is very, very low, especially the historic district. So we're counting on surge and damaging winds, all right? We had damaging winds with Charlie, but we didn't have the kind of surge, certainly, we could have here. You're talking about 12 to 18 feet in worst case scenario coming this way. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Let's look at the radar here, Mike, if we could. Just I want to show everybody where we are in Punta Gorda and, you know, where the eye wall is, where you're talking about some of these winds that even, you know, up at 8,000 feet are gusting 180, 190 miles an hour here. Just absolutely ridiculous. And if we pop up the radar, you can see exactly what we're talking about here with this. So here, there I am. Look at the lightning in this thing. Absolutely unbelievable. And some of the high resolution radar really kind of showing those little clefts within the eye there, typically noted certainly with some of the more intense hurricanes. But again, like I said, we're about 10 miles from some of the worst of this thing, and it'll be really amazing to watch things go downhill. Now, the big question is, do we get the eye, or does this jog back to the left, Mike, and keep us in the eye wall? That's probably the multi-million-dollar question, frankly.
It is.
Because of the kind of damage certainly you could see with the eye wall.
Is it going to be? Is it doing a little wobble right now, or is it actually going to make more of that east turn? We just don't know quite yet, because we're literally going frame by frame with this right on the radar. So it's so hard to tell without having, you know, any knowledge there. But you know, the jog, you know, the last couple frames there, Jim, just a slight jog east, which might put you right in the eye.
Right. We're either going to take the eye wall for a long, long time, or we're going to get in the eye, maybe get a little bit of a break from that. And what will be interesting, too, Mike, is if we're just inside the eyes, it's coming in, we may get somewhat of a little bit of a stronger break. But we've got to go through the eye wall, okay, to get into the eye, as you know. And then you've got to go through the backside of the thing, which is you know, just as powerful, but the winds are the other way.
Yeah.
So remember that. You know, if you've got power and you're home, you're like, oh, it must be over. No. Not if you're in this area. because that means you're going through the eye. All right, winds will lighten up a little bit. It may be, a little dirty depending on where we are here in Punta Gorda. If we see this thing jog enough to the, to the right, we'll obviously get into the deeper eye. Maybe, we'll see the sun, because here's a rare daily landfall, right? If we stay in that eye wall or just on the edge of it, it may be kind of the dirty part of the eye. But I would imagine, at least even looking at this, if we get into any part of the eye, it's going to brighten. It's going to brighten a little bit, Mike. And that's when you'll know, guys, if you're watching us from home,
Jim,
that you're in it as well.
Super concerned about what the back edge of that eye wall could do for you. You're just in a really precarious position for the back eye wall to now bring the surge in. So, people might be lulled into this phone system security that they got through it, right? Maybe the front eye wall's not that bad. You didn't get any surge. The water actually moved out. But the back eye wall is going to bring it all in.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You got to remember, you're going to get water push from two different directions. And so you may be safe looking at like what we're looking at on the eastern side of Charlotte Harbor now, where that wind's pushing it on the other side of the harbor. When it comes sloshing this way, that's a whole different animal. But that camera's amazing to me, Mike. That storm path camera. Looking out there at essentially just mud and those boats sitting in the marina.
That is wild, because it's such a contrast. You're not that far away from Fort Myers, and the camera in Fort Myers is showing the onshore flow, and it's feet of water that's gone up over Estero Boulevard. That's it right there. I mean, we've got a whole row of condos, look at that water, and it's violent too.
It is violent, and we've seen at times too, Mike, as you've been pointing out, debris floating around in this water. So you don't know if that's somebody's dock. If we've seen some of the homes, beach homes undermined there, you just don't know what it is. But this is like a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare when you see this, because the surge and the power of the water is doing incredible damage. And of course, that wind is pushing it all in. So big time eye wall storm surge going on there at Fort Myers Beach as a result of this thing. These barrier islands are going to take a major hit. And Mike, you remember with Charlie, we actually had a cut across Captiva. And so there's a very small barrier island there, but a long one. So we could actually have several cuts, if not a very large area of certainly Captiva that's cut by this. Big time. It's good. I'd be shocked if it wasn't.
Catastrophic.
Look at how dark it is.
Catastrophic weather happening for us right now with that live view in Fort Myers. Jim, thank you. We're going to get back with Jim in just a second. Let's go to Fort Myers again with our Mike Seidel. Mike, where you are, it looks awful. When we see this camera, it's awful. Update us again on what you're seeing.
Yes, in the eye wall, and we're going to be in this for quite a while. I do not think we're going to get in the eye and get any break from this. The winds are gusting over 100 miles an hour, and we're getting gusts. Right there's a gust of 75, 80. These are coming off the Gulf up through San Carlos Bay. This is the Caloosahatchee River, and boy, the surge is coming in. The water continues to inch up here around the pool deck at the hotel. And we're up nice and high. This hotel is all built up high. The lower levels, like the parking garage and equipment, it's not where people live and stay. So we've got plenty of elevation. The buildings around us, this condo over here, I'm going to try to get some video shortly. It is surrounded by the river, and it's going to be surrounded all afternoon until the wind starts to shift around this evening. We're going to have this surge issue. We're a long way from the peak of the surge. NHC forecasting 12 to 18 feet. Now, remember, that's above normally dry ground. 9.4 was the top number over at Fort Myers Beach, just over there. You saw the camera on 41, or I should say on Estero Boulevard. And that gives you an idea of what the water's doing on those barrier islands. Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, Captiva. Just a real disastrous situation, Dr. Nab. And you can see where I'm standing. I'm in the eye wall, and as far as I can tell, we're probably not going to get into the eye. We're going to be battered for several hours at least as Ian heads towards the coast, just north of us, up towards Stephanie Abrams. Dr. Nab?
Yeah, Mike, in some ways it's worse to not get the direct center. It is often worse to catch the eastern eye wall for basically the entire storm. Let me tell you what's going on with the satellite and radar and where we're getting the strongest winds, the onshore push, as this 155-mile-an-hour Cat 4 with max winds right just shy of Cat 5. So it doesn't matter. It's right at the Cat 4 or 5 threshold, and the pressure really low at 937. Now, north-northeast at 9 miles an hour, so it's still kind of generally taking this path. When you're computing the motion that they put in these advisories, they don't just look at a few radar images. They do a long-term motion over a few hours. So there's the center just west of Sanibel. So here's Fort Myers Beach right here, and the Caloosahatchee River is right up here going into Fort Myers. So the maximum push up that river probably hasn't happened yet. Once this part of the eye wall is going directly over that opening to the river, that will push the river right up into Fort Myers. Now, look at all these gusts that we've got, 60, 70 miles an hour. We still have the extreme wind warning, and we've had plenty of reported gusts over 100 miles an hour. We'll detail that later.